The sun is coming.
Good morning. Oh man, it's already getting warm in here. So I did a great job of cooling this place down last night. I put a fan on the desk to blow air out while the fan in the bed blew air in. And I can tell, I mean, it's still warm in here, but I can tell because it's cooler in here than in the hallway. And usually the interior of this building is just cooler in the summer, largely because it doesn't get any sun like this. Here's the problem. These are the curtains I have. Okay, we can open this up. And out there are, blinds. The problem is this guy opens up to here, and that guy hits this. I could have stood there to open that when this was open, and the other thing is this guy's here, but you know what? Screw it. I'm finally motivated. I'm crawling out over my desk. I'm just gonna make this happen because the sun is so bright. How does this work? Oh, here we go. I get it. Oi, oi, oi. I guess that'll do. Look at how rusty this thing is. It has been it's been, I don't think I may have closed this entirely once in all the years I've been here. But I just never trusted it. Also, it's covered in spiders, so it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. Good morning, anyways. It's Wednesday, and I got a lot of work to do, and I guess I'll be doing it in the dark. It did still feel much cooler by the bush than it did in here. That stinks. I need a bigger fan that can just move all the air. I need to build my own ventilation system. That's getting a little bit crazy. In the meantime, I'm gonna, I guess, wander off, find a banana, maybe a pastry because I haven't had one in a long time, and make myself a little bit of coffee and sit here and get some work done in my tiny little dark cave. Because today, theoretically, the iPhone should show up. So that's what we're waiting for. Does it show up? Can we stop using this phone and start using that phone? Because that was the whole idea the whole time. I have hope. I hope you have hope too. Let's hope together. And also let's have coffee because it's kind of still, it's warm and sleepy in here.
Merci, mon ami.
Bonne journée.
Toi aussi? Ooh. In the shade, it's fine. It feels nice, but as soon as you step into the sun for more than 5 seconds, it is roasting. You know this. It's how sunshine works. Anyways, I'm gonna get myself a pastry, and then I'm making coffee in the storage because I'm not making the coffee in my room. No boiling water in my room allowed. Unless, of course, they're closed for August, in which case, Just look at how nice and shady this whole space is, except for one section. Cancel. I just realized my AeroPress is down at the other place. I didn't bring it back with me because I'm an idiot. So I don't have any way of brewing this coffee. So I guess I'll take the grounds over to Patron's later for an afternoon coffee. The banana, I bought a peach too. The banana and peach better get me through this. Yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up?
How you doing? In the cave. A little bit of room light. Yeah, I was just gonna go cheers. It's so dark in here. But not nearly cold enough. Although it's colder than your place, you're saying.
It's pretty nice actually in here, I think.
Oh, I appreciate that. Maybe I should go outside, so I better appreciate how nice and cool it is in here. So how does it do for couch videos? That's a question we haven't answered yet. I am sitting in the darkness because it's 93 degrees outside, and I was gonna figure out, I have a food thermometer so we can see how warm it is in here. Hold on. I can't find it. I don't know. But based on Pouchon's reaction, apparently it's nice and cool in here. I'm starting to sweat a little bit without the fan, but it is better in here than it has been before. I really thought that these blinds were a lost cause, especially because normally I wouldn't climb out the window on my desk to get to them, so that's why. But today I was finally motivated because I knew that the sun was going to turn this place into an oven, and if I was going to stay here and try to work all day, not acceptable. So glad I finally did that, but now I got to climb back out there to open them soonish. I guess I could do that in probably the next hour or so, and the sun would. Anyways. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the experience of filming with this today because I was going to make the transition into iPhone yesterday and then be out filming with it today. And now, I mean, might as well beat the heat and just stay in here, right, for today. And I haven't done a little couch sit and talk video for a while. So let's talk about filming with this guy and just filming with cell phones in general. It's definitely fun to mess around with all these different lenses that these guys have now. It makes for a lot of different options where I never would have had them before. And I think I've talked about that a little bit. The jumps between the wide, the normal, and the telephoto lenses, normal, I guess, I don't know what, maybe it's like it shoots at something like a 35, I'm guessing. It's been really fun. There's something about being able to run and gun. So for the style that I do, and I'm in a little bit of like, not an existential crisis, but definitely a mode of questioning, which I generally try to be reflective and question all my decisions and everything else, hopefully not in too distracting of a way. But for me, vlogging has always been a tension between quality and quantity, because since I'm doing daily vlogging, quantity is just kind of baked into it. You have to make a video every day, which naturally limits the amount of quality that you can get into any given video. The challenge is that I guess for me right now, I really do see on YouTube, there's a much higher reward for quality than for quantity than there used to be. It used to be quantity was king, and now quality seems to be king again. And that's not a big deal. I've been trying to up my quality. I've definitely improved my gear a little bit here and there. I got my Sony a6500 as I went, which we'll talk about gear in a video here soon, I'm sure. The Osmo Pocket has made a huge difference, and those things made huge steps over using a camera. However, carrying more equipment has a natural tendency to make the quantity element harder because it's harder to carry more stuff, to switch between them. It makes the edit time longer. It complicates things a little bit. And so that's kind of the natural tension. I want to shoot with a nicer camera. I want to slow down and take a little bit more time for my shots when I'm doing. But the more you slow down, the slower you get. And life keeps happening. Time keeps moving. And you don't have that much time in any given day to shoot everything you need to shoot to make one of these. That said, going back to being full phone vlogging for a while it's been good. It's been a lot of fun because it's faster. I just throw a phone in my pocket, although it's been annoying carrying two phones. Yeah, very boohoo, cry me a river, but having two phones in the pocket is a little bit annoying. But once you settle in on the one you're going to have and you're going to carry around with you, having a phone in your pocket, being able to run and gun with my tiny little tripod, this guy, like this 1-2 combo, a phone with a tiny little tripod like this for me is like the ultimate vlogging setup because that's all you have to carry, which means that you can be focused on like actually thinking about the story you're trying to tell that day, getting to where you're going, very quickly setting up shots, moving, going, and like I feel like you can accomplish a lot more. The downside is that you run into a couple of issues, one of which is that this obviously is limited in what you can put it on. It's currently sitting in one of those Joby ball tripods. And this is what I used to carry in my pocket all the time until I found one of these. These are more versatile in the fact that they can basically be put on anything. And if they've got these red nubs, they're magnetic. So you can clank them to anything that's made out of metal. But this is just so sleek and you can always have it with you. The sacrifice that you make is that the microphone on this has been giving me a lot of problems. If you watched my live edit the other day, you know how much trouble it's giving me. And if you're attuned to audio in the first place, you've also probably struggled a little bit with the audio just coming out of this guy. And then there is a limitation to like what you can accomplish. Like I lose some sense of, I gain a little bit of characterization and style from the ability to do handheld transitions in the way that I throw the camera around. Not physically throw it, but the way that I twist it and spin it and turn it. But I also lose some characterization in the way that I can't control my zoom manually with my zoom lens, which I think is really important. It's a really nice feature of having a manually zoomed camera that it can't really be replicated by anything digital. It can't even be replicated by like point and shoot that has a zoom feature just because that tends to be run by an electric motor. So have I enjoyed shooting on a phone again? Yes, it's been really fun so far. I actually really, really like it. I want to keep doing it. Am I going to exclusively shoot on phones from here on out? No. I think that I can find a good balance in there. Again, like the microphone's one of the big deals. I think one of the best walk and talk solutions really is the Osmo, as long as you protect the microphones from the wind. The sound quality is good enough on that, and it comes with the stabilization so that it doesn't get distracting to have all the wobble. Obviously, the best audio comes from my Sony when it's close to you, but this guy actually has really good audio when it's not being interfered with. So it's good for indoor stuff or, locked off shots in rooms or indoors or outdoors when there's not a whole lot of extra noise going on. I feel like I've already learned a few things just by playing with this camera. I'm really excited for this generation of cameras, just with the multi-lens setups. It's huge. It makes a really, really big difference. I just need to really, I don't know. It's not even that the audio is just weird. I don't understand why it messes up the way it does. And ultimately, I think that's my main complaint. Maybe getting a case on it will finally actually solve that problem. There may be some settings that I could mess with, but reliability of your equipment is probably the number one thing that's factored into the back of your brain when you rely on it every day. And you can't reshoot anything, or at least not much. There's a lot of stuff that happens in a day that if you don't catch it, you didn't catch it, and that's the end of that. So knowing that you can rely on your equipment to film the same way every time without fail is huge. And if you've been paying attention for a long time, you might know that I've had a couple of reliability issues with my A6500. And that, I mean, once those start to happen, like, you get upset. I mean, I get angry when technology doesn't work the way it's supposed to. That's just kind of like my main pet peeve in life, I feel like. But it also starts to undermine your confidence in the equipment itself. The Osmo so far has never betrayed me, so I'm very confident in that. This guy, I'm mostly confident in. It's just those audio things that I have to be extra careful of. And you just need to be conscientious to make sure you're getting the audio you need. And yeah, so I'm really interested to see, is the iPhone more reliable in that way? Because that's a category that it could win on. If the audio is good and doesn't screw around at all, that's one area that it could definitely win. The other area that the iPhone could win would just be the way that it compresses the footage. I know that some people struggle with the saturated look of the Samsung. It's a little bit more colorful than you might be used to.
Good morning. Oh man, it's already getting warm in here.
I'm pretty sure the iPhone is going to be the opposite. It's going to be undersaturated. And then I want to get like a cheap brand that you may have never heard of, but that has a highly rated camera, and we'll see how that does as well. I think I need to order that like ASAP, because with all the trouble I've had getting an iPhone, maybe I should preemptively order the other one just to be ready. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to do a couple of live streams. One on this guy, one on the iPhone, and one on the other phone, assuming that it works with whatever SIM card that I have. I have two different types of SIM cards now just to make sure that they do work. And for those of you that think, wow, high roller, thankfully, it only costs me 20 euros a month, and it's unlimited data, so I don't have to worry about that. It's a good deal. And I've been needing a business phone for a while, so like, this is the perfect time to do that as well. Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with how this whole thing is going. I hope you're enjoying it too. Thanks for all the feedback. And I know I've heard a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts on both the visual, the audio. There are certain elements that I think are pleasing a lot of people, and certain elements that are annoying some people as well. And don't worry, I'm also kind of annoyed by some of those things. And that's why it's also good to really work it and to really rely on it. I might make some more videos just like that, because then you start to find the flaws and the failings of any given device. And that's how you really start to go, okay, like, I get it. Like, I figured out how to work around this or live with whatever the issue is. And then you don't have any surprises. And that's when the reliability, that sense of reliability comes back, because then you're like, oh, I know it's going to struggle with this. So let's be gentle with it, and then we'll be okay. Anywho, that's basically going to be it for today, because there's no phone coming. I'm hot and sweaty. I've been sitting in the dark working, which has been good. I want to turn that light off, because even though it's not really generating any heat, psychologically it feels like it is. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever it is you are. One of the things I need to do, I'm going to sit down and do right now, is the randomization for the patron producer of the month. So what I'm going to do instead is just go with the newest patron, which is Cody DeCamp. Thanks for producing today's episode, fresh on the beat. I really appreciate that you're here. Thanks for joining. He literally joined 14 hours ago. So thanks, Cody. I'm glad you're here. And for anybody else wanting to join up, please do. Feel free. I should make a video explaining Patreon, why I use it and why it's helpful one of these days. I used to be committed to doing that at least like twice a month, and I've fallen off that horse. The other thing that I want to do soon is another like who am I video. And where am I going? Oh yeah, because we have cheap champagne that we can pop, so maybe we can do that tomorrow. I was going to do that with Pouchon today. Dang it. But yeah, we'll pop a bottle tomorrow, and hopefully that'll include a little bit of iPhone footage at least. And I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for that. Thanks for watching. Stay cool out there. Stay safe. Wear masks when and where appropriate. And, just care for one another as best you can. Aw, see you tomorrow. Oh, I lied. This thing's putting out heat for real. Let's turn... Oh, my goodness. Wow, the lighting in here is terrible. It looks so grainy. Last thing, the chair that I'm sitting on right now. For the longest time, there was a lot. We were talking about how I destroyed my chair and I didn't really have a chair to sit on, and so I was sitting on a stool. I found a spare in my landlady's stuff that I'm borrowing and I'm going to give back. I'll upgrade this at some point too. It's kind of sticky, and actually there's some of the finish comes off if you're sweaty, and that's not good either for your clothing. Just discovered that the other day. Whoops. Anyways, hope you're staying cool. See you soon.